I'm really against using AI when you let the AI to take over the acting.
What were some of the first AI filmmaking tools you used many years ago, and what are some of the tools that you use now?
Many years ago, I haven't really used any AI tools many years ago. So only recently, which I obviously use ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini to help me bounce ideas and help me perfect the right dialogue, because as I said, my English isn't perfect. And then visually, more so recently, I use a lot of video generation AI tools, such as Higgsfield, which have different platforms and models I can use, from Kling, C-Downs, Runway, etc., and Google VO3, to help me really enhance the visuals that I couldn't normally get with the budget or time that I had. But I also found recently that I also use AI more in the post-production side, where there was a scene that you shot on set because you rushed it and then you missed a shot of a POV of an object or something that's pretty quick. Like there was a scene where I had a character stab someone from the back, but from a wide. I think it looks visually better if there was a close-up. So something like that, I use AI, and I think that's really helpful because you don't have the expense of time to go back to the set and reshoot just that little scene. And AI comes up really useful for that kind of situation.
How does a filmmaker create a lot more work for themselves using AI if they don't plan properly?
I think people think that AI is going to fix all problems they ever face on the movie set in post-production, and they don't really think about what the limits are, and sometimes the limits which fails them and make them to do more work, and they have to go back, actually shoot something they should have shot on set. So the planning is realizing what the capabilities are for different AI models during your production, and what the plates you need to shoot, what the background you need to have and not have, what different angles you need to have. So later, when you have all those coverage and different angles, different plates, different background, that you have enough to get the AI to do its work. Otherwise, you've got to generate things that you didn't shoot, which is still possible with AI, but you can just create a lot more time and frustration, and it end up probably making it more time than you could have just gone back and shoot it yourself.
What's the difference between a creative AI filmmaker and a lazy AI filmmaker?
So I think there are two different types of AI filmmakers, and your question perfectly kind of captures that. There's one type of AI filmmaker who's lazy in terms of maybe they've touched the camera once in their life or even never touched the camera, and they think AI is going to make them those expensive, visually attractive scenes, and it's going to be a great film. Or they've touched the camera, but they just don't want to keep using the camera. They just want to create whatever they can without, because they're lazy. And then there's another type of AI filmmaker who had a lot of experience before the age of AI. They know how to use a camera. They know how to do lighting. They know story beats. They know how to speak to actors. They know composition. They know music. They know everything. And then they use AI. And because of that knowledge they have, the output is going to be so much better than the other type of AI filmmakers, because you can see it even with the great lighting, the great cinematography, there isn't that storytelling, that soul that a true filmmaker has, because they had that experience. So those are the two differences.
Okay, so that latter one is now not just relying on the tools to make the story great, because they still know that at the heart of everything is an actual story. It's not just how pretty it looks or what kind of a great set piece is brought in.
It's not just story. It's more about the pacing as well, the how you cut too much or cut too little. All that, if you let AI to decide, or if you think, oh, this is good enough because that's what AI has spat out, then it's not going to be great as a true filmmaker who knows that pacing is off, even though the AI thinks it's good. You know, your taste, your own vision that you've developed so many years shows in your movies, whether you use AI or not.
What do you like about using AI in your filmmaking?
Mainly to fix problems that I could never fix. You know, when I face a problem now, I can use AI. But let's imagine if AI didn't exist, would I have paid someone to fix that problem? Probably not, because I didn't have that budget all the time. So I really love the idea that I'm able to just fix anything without adding more budget or time that I didn't have, and also enhancing those footage that I wouldn't be able to normally do, the kind of Hollywood blockbuster scenes of jumping off buildings, car explosions, chase, stunts, flying, and all those fantasy stuff that you can do that now, that you had to invest a lot of time. I mean, you know, if I had a lot of money and millions of dollars, yes, I would still rather do it in camera. But I'm limited to what I can do because the budget of time, so I'm happy that I can use AI to really achieve what I had in my mind. Yeah.
What don't you like about using AI in your filmmaking?
I'm really against using AI when you let the AI to take over the acting, whether you use a real person's face, then let AI to do the acting of emotions, or whether you generate a complete new face using AI and then let AI to do the acting through that character. I think you should always still use real people, real humans to do the acting, and then you can enhance whether it's makeup or something that glows in their eyes. But the movement, the gesture, the mannerism, all that should be still kept as real actors. And people who create AI with those characters that never existed, and you can tell the acting is just so bad. Even if the acting is getting better, you still don't have that soul from a real human being.
Forgive me, not what is AI, but in a broad sense, what are those tools? I mean, you've mentioned some of the brands that you use, but if somebody was, let's say, from another planet and said, I don't know, what is AI? Can you explain sort of what is it in terms of fixing a film, writing a film, color grading?
From a visual perspective, AI filmmaking is two different things, really. You use a tool to either change something that you've already shot, but still keep majority the same, whether it's lighting, the background, the makeup, maybe the costume that you couldn't afford. Now you can use AI to really generate those images and then make it into a video that you keep, but the acting and stuff you keep the same. Or nowadays you can use AI to create an entirely new environment. So for example, I don't know, somebody is visiting an alien planet, you need to establish the scene. Obviously, back in the days, people use CGI or they build sets or green screen, but now you can just use AI to generate this entire environment to give you that establishing shot.
What seems to be the public sentiment toward filmmakers who use AI? I mean, on one hand, we see that some of the content, it gets a lot of views, and then we also see a lot of negative comments and pushback, and there's ethical concerns.
Yes, I think a lot of haters of AI filmmaking are targeted towards the people who use AI to create 100% movie that use AI. So they didn't use any cameras, lighting, the people. That's majority the haters live. They hate those people because they're not being creative. They're writing a prompt and the film is live and that's it. And there's even festivals and competitions where people are encouraged to create a whole scene, whether it's 2 minutes or 20 minutes of entirely AI or animated scene. I mean, some looks good, but I think that's where the haters really don't like, because like I said, there's no involvement of human process or physically of making that movie with cameras and lighting, etc. So I try to stay in the middle. I explained before, I don't like to replace my actors using AI, so I approach a hybrid approach. I use a hybrid approach with AI filmmaking. I'll do my real footage with on-set people, with my costume, with my crew, with my actors, and I bring all those real shot footage into the post-production and add a little bit of AI because I didn't have the budget, or fix something or change something or add in the alien or planet. And that hybrid has encouraged people to use AI. I've had people who say, I used to follow you on social media and now you use AI. I don't like you anymore. I still get those hate comments. But then recently I get more and more people saying, you know, I used to hate AI, but after watching your video, because it was a hybrid between the two, that is the right way of using AI. You have changed my mind. So they've become from anti-AI to pro-AI because they've watched my video, how I approach as a hybrid approach.
Sure. And so when did you start telling your audience that you were using or incorporating using this hybrid approach? Do you remember how long ago? Was it right when ChatGPT started coming out? Was it 2022?
Oh, no. When I first played around with the visual side, the video generation of AI, they weren't very good. I remember when Sora came out, it was, at the time it was good, but you know, now looking back, it was terrible. I don't know if you remember the video of Will Smith eating noodles. And that, when it first came out, wasn't great. So I was experimenting with this. That wasn't a hybrid. And I didn't publicly show that I was doing AI until it got really good. So probably like 6 months ago, that it started to get to a level almost good enough to use with my real footage. That's when I tell people.
So it seems like people are confused, and I'm also confused over the fact that not all AI is repurposing other people's IP. It sounds like you can also plug in your own IP and have that repurposed in AI for your own project?
Yes. So that again has the difference between something that's 100% generated with AI, a person, a fight scene, spaceship with lightsaber, or those 100% generated imagery or videos are somehow, that's what I've been told, stolen from different IPs. But if you shoot something, you have a background, you're already in the physical world, you have a person there, you know, everything is that's being captured using a real camera, and then you're using AI to change a little bit, then I don't think that's being stolen. That's just adapting what you've shot and change what you've desired to change within that frame. So there's that difference between 100% AI and then the hybrid from what you shot. And even if you want to generate something that's completely new, my process is you can draw with a pen. It can be really bad drawing if you want to be, of hills and mountains, and then you upload that image into AI so that it has that baseline instead of just grabbing from different IPs of what you've drawn and say, oh, I want this to be the background of a Martian planet. And then you will generate that based on your drawing, not from other people's.
Thank you for watching the video all the way to the end. Here is a complimentary question from our book Story Questions.